Hello, this is a recap of the last week of February for young engineers of today for 5th, 6th grade. All right, last week we covered SketchUp, went through the installation process, as you can see here, and the slides have also posted as well. Main point of when you're in loading it is using educational use and selecting student and SketchUp make, okay? Either for a Mac or your Windows machine. Okay. Now, we'll basically go through some basic tools. You will choose template after you install it, simple template, feet and inches. This is the opening screen. On the opening screen, it's instructor. If you can't find it, you can also go to help for search and bring up the instructor. Instructor gives you shortcuts and tips, as you can see there. Under view, you have the tool palette. Bring up the large tool palette and gives you a lot more tools than are up above. You have your selector tool, your line tool, which is for drawing individual lines, making shapes, as you can see here. All right, you have your 3 different axes. Click then to finish it. Go ahead and try that. Now, press escape to cancel a line mid-build. All right. Spacebar is a great tool to use as well for stopping things. When things are gray, it's a solid shape. Now you have your push-pull tool. This makes things into 3D objects. Click again to finish. I'll let you read those, the orbiting pan and zoom buttons with shortcuts on the keyboard. All right. This is your rectangle tool. Allows you to make rectangles. This is your circle tool. And here's your selection tools. And how many times you click. And I want you to notice that between the difference between clicking once, twice, and 3 times. Now, there's the click once, I click twice, and I click 3 times. Notice how it highlights different parts. All right, here's the moving tool. All right, rotating around center tool. You can read that. And here's rotating around a center. Double click the face, and you can actually rotate around that face. Rotating around a point, and rotating around a rectangle, okay? These are good for drawing rectangles at angles, okay? Rotated rectangle. And there's a quick way to draw this rotated rectangle here, as you can see. All right, here's inferring, using like midpoints, front points. Now, when you type the shape, after you draw the shape, just type. And it'll end up in the dimension line. Okay. Same with sides for circles. Try those out. Here's for making arcs. And once again, once you're done, type in those curved arc. And you can use the measuring tool. All right. 3-point arc. I'm leaving you the opportunity to read these. And also look at the presentations. Okay. All right, that's for making pie arcs. Process for that. Okay, and we'll pause here and recap part 2. This is the follow me tool from our second presentation. Can apply conditions to both entire face and path. All right, takes 3 steps using the follow me tool, choosing the face, and then, choosing the face, then using the follow me tool. This is the enter on the face, follow me around it, and it trims it. All right, orientation. Here's making a sphere. It's actually easier to download a sphere than to make one. I'll walk you through that so you can see these steps where you draw 1 circle, and you're going to draw another, expand those, after you'd follow me, and then trim off the excess edge. Tape measure tool is great. All right, the tape measure tool, as I was saying, great for helping find specific points for precise drawings, and you can tell by the dash points. You can find center points and midpoints and actually align things correctly with this tool. All right, tape measure tool, click on the edge of an object, move mouse onto a face. If you don't see a gray dotted line, hit Control or Command. Okay. Here's some more with guidelines. Now scaling, use scale the entire object or certain faces of an object. Use selector tool and click 3 times, select entire 3D object, then select scaling tool and click and drag green cubes that appear. Use selector tool and click once to select a 2D face. Select scale tool to move face. The reason this tool is really useful is for the fact that you can change different sizes of objects without having to redo the whole thing. Okay, that's how you do scaling on a 3D and a 2D face or object. Continued. All right, now inferred pushing and pulling. SketchUp will infer the height or push-pull base on existing parts of the drawing. All right, draw 2 rectangles next to each other and push or pull one. Okay. You can see with the edge or midpoint. Now, punching out openings. Use the offset tool. Create lines offset from the main shape. And then what you can do, or you can draw 2D or 3D faces on objects. And then you will offset this. To use this offset tool, create an offset outline on a face. Then you will use the push-pull tool to cut out the shape. And you can use the color tool to show off different colors. It's a fun tool, along with the text tool, which the text tool is right here. You can actually turn text, different style text and words, and they are just like every other 3D object, which is really cool. Here's a bunch of custom colors that you can make, wide variety. You can try that out. Okay, building a table. Here are the steps for doing that. It's basically you're going to push, pull. Using that, and before that using the offset tool, and you can push through and actually create your own table. All right. Now for a challenge, you can build a bench as well to go along with that. But here is under view, the X-ray vision, which gives you a little bit easier without having to orbit or rotate. Okay. Okay. All right, and I will go through a little bit of yesterday as well. Now this leads us to groups and components. Once again, this is presentation 2 part. We've gone over presentation 1 part 2, and presentation 2. We'll start here. All right, sticky geometry. Be careful aligning faces and with multiple shapes, because they will end up attaching to themselves, and when you go to move them, it gets awkward. All right, making a group. Group several non-touching items together. Move one, moves the entire group. Making groups, select all objects you want to group. Either right-click and select group, or edit making group. Now, I want you to notice what happens when I make a copy of a group and then edit just one group. Only the group I edit changes. The original stays the same. Okay. Components are useful to make many copies of things. An edit to one component changes all components. Now to make a component, select all objects you want and right-click or hit G on keyboard to name it and hit Create. Okay. Here's using the components. Right-click with Selection tool to edit. Now, instancing. The difference between group and components. Change one group does not change its copies. Change one component changes all the copies. Okay. Components are instance tied to the original. And here's an example of this. Original group is edited copy, the original component, and its edited copy. All right, the original doesn't change in a group. If you change the original in a group, the other copies don't. But in a component, if you change the original, all of them change. Okay. Now, building a structure, you're going to build a 50 feet by 100 feet rectangle using a rectangle button. Then you're going to pull up 2 feet to create a 2-foot offset and to pull offset by 2 feet. Then after this, you're going to make a stairs. Okay? You'll draw a 1 line straight out from the midpoint, then erase the center line. You'll pull up by 1 and add extra line tool. All right? Let me show you how to do this. All right, this is what you're looking to make, and eventually, off in the background here, we are going to make that. Now, quickly, I'll show you how to use the rectangle tool. There's the rectangle. Now, all I'm going to do is type my dimensions. All right, now I'm going to zoom out. Move this over. Now, I made that happen. Okay. Now, I'm going to use my offset. Actually, I'm going to use my push-pull. I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to type 1 foot. Okay. Now, hit spacebar, and I get rid of that. Now, I'm going to use my offset tool. There's my offset. I'm going to put a 2-foot offset. All right. Hit my space bar. Now I'll use my push-pull to do, oh, I clicked on the wrong one. So it's always important to make sure you're on the right face. And what I'm going to do is 2 feet for that. Actually, I hit Control Z because I did that wrong. I wanted 1 foot. Okay, spacebar. Now I'm going to zoom in so you can see that. All right. Now, to make a stair, here's my midpoint. I'm going to make that out to be 1 foot. And I'm going to make that 5 feet. And it's easier if you zoom in here. So let me get my pencil tool. Then I'll put 5 feet on this side. And then attach there. Now I'll take my eraser button and center my eraser line. Okay, spacebar and then push-pull. Make sure you click on the right face when you go to use that push-pull. And I'm going to type 1 foot in there. All right. So that's one process of making a stair, okay? So you can copy and paste that, and you'll end up with a tool like this. All right. Well, thank you very much. And hopefully you find this helpful. Once again, there is your stair. You can see that process. And all these presentations are on Edmodo. Thank you.